any game so far this year in the NFL where the public has been on, over 50% of the bet, whatever it is, has hit 60% of the time. It's literally like a 60% of the time it works every time thing. But essentially, the public's done very well so far this year in the NFL.
Yeah, last night, and over at MGM National Harbor, they could say many, many things about Ryan Horvath, but they can't call me cheap because before I walked out of that door, they took me for another $500 on the roulette table. And then
did it again?
And then another $400 on the craps table.
Here's the thing, though.
And then
so
$200 on the video poker, or not even video poker, video roulette.
Ryan
I dropped about
left.
G last night.
Ryan left the show, and he Irish goodbye'd me. I looked around.
No, I went over to the bar. I wanted to have a birthday drink.
But you didn't say anything to me. You just left, and I was like, all right,
I said I'm going to have a birthday drink.
I didn't
because,
hear that.
Like a professional,
No
I was
text.
drinking Diet Coke during the show, and I wanted a birthday drink, so then I ended up having 5. And then I ended up gambling all my money away. It was a rough night on roulette. I played my birthday numbers 10, 9, 8, 5. I didn't hit once.
Nothing.
So we'll bounce back.
Let's just forget about last
night.
night.
The birthday curse continues. It started in the 6th grade at Skate West, and it continued last night. But you know what? Next year, I think it's finally going to be the birthday that things start looking up.
I love the attitude. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned the public thing, and BetMGM's John Ewing had a great tweet coming off the weekend. Public had a good Sunday. 84% of the bets were on the Dolphins, minus 12.5. Ding. 79% on the Chiefs, ding. 78 on the Lions, ding. 77 on the Bills, ding. 73 on the Niners, 61 on the Jets, 60% on the Bengals. Teams getting 60% or more of the bets went 6-1.
There you go.
Insane.
There you go.
Yay,
so that
public.
may be more of like expanding on whatever it was that I saw. That is.
The Niners, I'm going to put them number 1 in my power rankings. Their point differential, plus 99, 20 points better than the next team. And then I jotted this down on Sunday night because Brock Purdy only had 9 big-time throws, a rate of 2.5% going into that Sunday night game. Right? He throws to the right spots. He's the point guard of the San Francisco 49ers. He doesn't turn the ball over. I was like, this guy's the perfect game manager. Where was this that last year at Iowa State when him and Matt Campbell and Breece Hall were costing me all that money? But his rate was 4 times that on Sunday Night Football. He had an average depth of target 9 yards down the field. Just 43% of his passing yards came after the catch. So it wasn't just a bunch of yak, just like getting the ball to Kittle, giving the ball to Debo or McCaffrey in space and letting them do all the work. He was actually pushing the ball down the field. If he continues to play like that, if he could do that against teams like Philadelphia, because I know Dallas laid an egg, but that's still a really good defense. I think what scares me about Dallas moving forward, I think there was some quit. On the defensive side of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball, that was a nightmare. Like, you had Michael Gallup with back-to-back 60-yard performances. I didn't see him on Sunday night, barely. Brandon Cooks, they tried to get him involved in the offense, but at that point it was like already too late. More Tony Pollard, less everybody else. Dak was terrible.
Yeah,
like, I wanted to see Trey Lance, just to see Trey Lance against his former team, and just because Dak looked so bad, man, with the turnovers. It was awful. That last throw that he had, where it was just YOLO down the field.
Oh, God. There's a lot of YOLO throws.
Disgusting. And the worst part about it was, so great week for the public. Cousin Joe's texting me nonstop, oh, yeah, I hit my 17 parlay. And I'm like, screw you, guy. And then my dad came up for the game, and all day long he was talking about San Francisco. Brock Purdy's the real deal. Brock Purdy's the real deal. Shanahan's going to coach circles around McCarthy. And I'm like, no, Dad. This is a different Cowboys team. I don't care about McCarthy. We got Dan Quinn. And he was right. So the whole time he's just like, I told you, tried to tell you, I must be the sharp around here.
I'm not putting the Cowboys in the top 10 for me. I'm putting the Ravens in there. It was tough because the Ravens blew what they did against the Steelers at the same time.
That's how bad the loss was.
At least that was a close game. The Cowboys looked inept, confused, completely unprepared for that. They can't play from behind. That's my biggest concern with them. Can Dak Prescott lead this team to a win when they're down? And we didn't see it. I don't know where Brandon Cooks is. I don't know why he's not involved, why you bring him in if you're not going to involve him in the offense. I mean, I just watch this Dallas team and go, if Micah Parsons isn't getting home, that secondary now looks like it's an average secondary at best.
They went right at him,
and
too.
That's going to be a big, big problem. You take Micah Parsons out of games, and the Dallas defense is not the same. In 11 possessions with Prescott, by the way, the Cowboys had 1 touchdown, 1 field goal, 3 picks, and 9 drives that were 3 plays or fewer. That's bad. That offense is going to have to get it together quickly or they're going to get exposed. So the Cowboys, to me, would probably be 11th. I'd put them in there at 11, but I have to move them out of the top 10 after getting absolutely destroyed by the best team in the NFL.
No, it is. I think there's not much respect towards the Broncos, not just because of this year's team, which has a historically bad defense. But remember, guys, the Chiefs have won 15 straight up. Not covered, of course, but straight up against the Broncos going back to 2015. I mean, this has been complete domination. We know the division's been something Mahomes has had no problem with, but even going back to the Alex Smith days, they were beating the Broncos. 10.5 is a big number. You're exactly right. I mean, this is a team that doesn't cover big numbers regularly whatsoever. I just wonder, guys, at this point, this is even a worse Denver Broncos defense because of the defense. The offense might be better, but we just got done talking about the Chiefs defense being top 10. Broncos are trending as a historically bad defense right now. And so I wonder, because it's a divisional game and everybody is thinking that this is going to just be a blowout, we do see this play out, especially with Thursday night. This could be one of those where Chiefs fans are upset Friday morning and they only win 24-17 or something. Like, that actually wouldn't stun me, where everybody's like, well, they couldn't even get to 30 against the Broncos defense. They're just not right. I feel like that could be one of our topics on our local show Friday morning. It feels like that's where we're trending, even though I don't think it's going to be a stressful game. I just don't know if the Chiefs are winning the way some people here locally believe, which is, they're going to win 45-17. I don't see that.
Trista, is this a sly dig at me that you're a better alumna than I am an alumnus? You're not going to bet against your team?
I would bet against them, but I actually think the right side is Oregon.
Quack.
+3, but I just can't do it. The only thing I would do is take Washington money line. That's the only thing I could do.
I kind of think Washington is the side I would bet. I mean, this is a classic, just enjoy the game, and you don't need to have involvement in it. But I think I would bet Washington. I trust Penix more than I trust Bo Nix, and that's not even a slight at Bo Nix, because he's third in the Heisman market for a reason. He's played really well this year, like, huge credit to him. But I think I trust Washington more. I think you can play the results game a little bit with Oregon and look back at their schedule and go, well, are we as impressed with that Colorado win now as we were in the moment? Like, what are the other, signs that maybe they're capable of going on the road and winning this game?
USC almost lost to Colorado, Chase. USC.
Didn't we all agree that was going to happen, though? Not that they were going to lose, but, USC was going to get up big, and then Colorado was going to score a bunch on their defense late. That was kind of predictable.
Just saying it was a more impressive win than you're making it out to be.
I don't know. Maybe. I could be wrong. You could be right. But I think I looked back at the game last year. I think Washington's better this year than they were last year. They won that game at Oregon last year. It's clearly a game between two really good teams with two really good quarterbacks. I think Oregon's defense is probably a touch better, and if they end up winning, I think that's the reason why, because they're a little bit more balanced than Washington. I just think that Penix offense is so good, and if you have to get into a shootout with them, I don't know.
But he's an athlete. There's something missing there. And then offensively, I just don't know that Jordan Love's the guy. I kind of want it to be really bad. I hate admitting this. I kind of want it to be.
And then they draft somebody?
Yeah, I want Drake.
They draft somebody in the first round.
I've talked myself into Drake.
Could you imagine?
It's like, all right, you got to leave that number 10, though, Jordan, because that's Drake May's number. You got to leave that for Drake.
Could you imagine if the Packers take a quarterback in the first round of this draft after everything they did?
Aaron Rodgers will be laughing.
He would.
And
honestly, everybody should be fired at that point. After you trade up and Jordan Love's the guy and he's sitting for years as opposed to building around Aaron Rodgers, who still had plenty left in the tank. My God.
I mean, honestly, that's the truth. It's hard to be like the Detroit Lions are Super Bowl contender because you're like, did I just say that out loud?
Yeah.
Was that me? Just the Detroit Lions, really? But when you look at them, you watch them play, it looked like it, right? I mean, however Jared Goff got here, he's pretty good. Nobody expected. The Lions did not expect, when they were just balancing the salaries with the Stafford trade, that Jared Goff would still be their quarterback right now and they'd be on their way to a division title. You cannot convince me that they thought Goff was an asset. He's just like, whatever, he's going to be a bridge guy and then we'll draft a guy. But Goff has been very good. And the thing about Detroit, and there's a couple things in my mind here of, I keep thinking about what we're seeing with the Baltimore Orioles, and I know it's cross sport, but is it just a team that was never been there before and kind of had this season? They just make this huge, huge leap, and then you get to the playoffs and you're just not ready for it. Maybe the Lions have that happen. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. But I think the big thing for them is they, like you talked about, they play such a weak division. They could get on a real run here and win 13, 14 games. Like, I mean, it's not out of the question at least. And then how many home games do you get? Can you get the number one seed if the 49ers stumble a couple times because you're just playing? Look, their division stinks. Like, it's weird to say about a team, like you said, it hasn't won a division title in 3 decades, back when it was the NFC Central, but the division's done. Like, it's a wrap already in week 5. Like, I don't know what their odds are right now, but you might as well just take them off the board. They're going to win the division by 5 or 6 games maybe, and that might put them in line to get a really nice draw in the playoffs. So, yeah, other than them being the Lions, I can't tell you why I think that they won't make a decent run. They're a good football team, and I think they've proven that.